Hi friends, here I am again with another video on my YouTube channel. A warm greeting to all of you and thank you for your collaboration, your participation, your affection and your kindness in one way or another. I mean, you are free to criticize, to comment. There's absolutely no problem with that. I wanted to delve into two topics that are, one is the topic of the day, Yildiz'S, and the other will be the topic of the coming months, or rather my thoughts on what has happened and what will happen. I'm referring to the World Cup draw. On Yildiz'S, allow me to say, I have memorized Chiellini's exact words, who vouched for him and put his reputation on the line by saying that Yildiz'S will be the future of Juve for many years. But allow me to say one thing. How is it possible to let time slip by after giving him the number 10 jersey without having adjusted his contract, reaching November, December, January 2025 to 2026, for someone who was chosen as your heir by the coach to whom you gave the number 10 jersey? The firstborn, the consecration, the passing of the torch, without making any grand comparisons. And I don't understand any of it. It's also a matter of the jersey. Speaking of jerseys, I wanted to remind you, thank you. Don't forget that on December 8th at 6:30 p.m. on Tilt, I'll be giving away some jerseys. Lots of jerseys, many jerseys, plenty of surprises. I'll be Santa Claus, basically. You won't regret it. Set your alarm. Someone wrote to me last time saying, I missed this event, so don't miss it this time. Set your alarm because I'm giving you plenty of notice with the right timing. Monday, December 8th. We're almost there. At 6:30 p.m. As I was saying about the jersey, if you have the number 10, you can get to November or December and still be at the point of, if you have the number 10, tell me, is there any number 10 in Europe, in the world, who, with a bank account showing 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 million in annual salary? You just can't do that. If you've made him a star, you have to get things sorted out in time. Now, it also seems fair to me. That's Juventus with Yildiz'S. Whatever money Yildiz'S asks for, if you want to give him 5, he wants 6, give him 6. If you want to give him 6, he wants 6.5, you have to give him 6.5. That's how I see it, because the temptations have been there, but so far they haven't intervened. There was a clear strategic mistake. If I have employees on my side who I consider indispensable for my project, for my work, for my vision, for my future, I can't pay them. With all due respect, it's still a lot of money, but when I say peanuts, it's because if I have the number 10, I can't just take a 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. If they've adjusted his contract and we don't know about it, that's another story altogether. But I think that would be pretty surprising too. When you start talking about the Yildiz'S situation, it just gets tiresome. For me, talking about it every day, enough. Yildiz'S is one of the few real bright spots for Juve to rebuild around. The rest is being taken care of. Spalletti, it's going to be a tough job. It'll take a lot of patience, but you have to start from your certainties. When I hand you that shiny number 10 jersey, at the same time, I have to sort out everything else that needs to be sorted out for you. Also because the kid himself is on board. He's the one directly involved, and he's in love with Juve, at least until you make him fall out of love. I'm speaking in general terms. But here we are in December, and it's clear that certain things in Italy, things are done in second gear when you could already be in fifth. I mean, if the highway is clear, and if you've made that choice and it's reciprocated, I don't understand why you have to wait until December to see it through. Another situation, since we'll be talking about it in some way tomorrow in Washington, World Cup draws, and everything is completely normal for our usual way of reporting the news. I truly do not want to be overly polemical, but it is the absolute truth. We are completely desensitized. We are going to the upcoming World Cup with an X, meaning that in the draw pots we will be marked with an X, because we quite rightly have to wait for Italy and Northern Ireland, specifically in Bergamo. And then if the first one goes well, we'll play the second against the winner. Between Wales and Bosnia, to me it already seems pretty shameful to go to a World Cup with an X. Those who go to the World Cup with an X are the outcasts, the ones who've had problems, the fourth and fifth tier of world football, those waiting for a miracle, waiting to be given a second chance. But here, everything is regular, everything is normal. So we go with the X and everything is regular. December, January, February, and March spent holding our breath. And everyone else will know their opponent. And we are the laughingstock of the country. I've always said it. By now, we are the laughingstock of the country. Also because, and I apologize, but when you interview Gravina, and you don't ask him the most important question to ask, which is what he thinks about yet another team, club, city, being excluded from football. Just like in the case of Rimini, not even half a question on this topic. So it's clear proof that everyone is fine with it. This whole story, everyone is fine with it. The refereeing situation, everyone is fine with it because they're all comfortable, nice and warm by the fireplace on Christmas Eve, keeping each other company. And what we need here is a nice song. But if it were up to me, I'd put President Gravina in the lottery drum tomorrow. Because once again, he's the architect of interviews without questions, interviews that don't address or provide an outlet for the serious things that have happened. I repeat, I apologize. I truly apologize to the person who did the interview, but from a journalistic standpoint, you can't not ask, President, excuse me, just hours after Rimini's exclusion, what do you think? Zero questions. And so I would definitely put him in the lottery drum, let him gently spin around for a little while, especially since he generously gave us this truly great, absolutely magical X page at the recent World Cup draw. Subsequently, hundreds and hundreds of you wrote to me, indicating that there are indeed many passionate supporters of Italy. Regardless, there are those who wrote to me, and I have to say it, I hope Italy doesn't go. It would be painful, but it would be the only way to start over with a post-Gravina concept. Let me also tell you, don't take certain things for granted. If you read that interview, it contains answers without questions, and the important questions are missing. Unfortunately, there were no traces of real questions, but for him to leave, even afterwards, something apocalyptic would have to happen. Some interpolation, so the real Italian hopes to go, the real Italian hopes not to go, even though he is real, but he can't take this situation anymore. Not a single thing changes. Tomorrow, shamefully, we are X, suspended among those who are suspended. The country that has won 4 World Cups and is represented by the worst president in the history of the Italian Federation. Soccer, football, the worst. I would put him in the lottery drum and spin him around a bit because this X too is his doing. As always, I thank you from the bottom of my heart and wish you a good continuation and all the best. A hug.